Picture this. It's Friday night at a crowded coffee shop. Across the table sits your friend, staring blankly at a half-eaten muffin. They've been acting weird all week, and you know something is wrong. Boxley leans forward, rests his elbows on the table, and asks the most logical question in the world. "Hey, what's bothering you?" His friend looks up, shrugs, and mutters, "Nothing. I'm fine." Boxley sighs, leaning back in defeat. We've all been there. You know they are lying, but you can't pry the truth out of them. But what if the reason they won't open up isn't because they want to keep a secret? What if the problem is the exact question you just asked? Human beings are wired to connect, yet getting someone to actually open up and tell you what's really on their mind feels like trying to crack a safe without the combination. When someone we care about puts up a wall, our first instinct is to grab a sledgehammer. We ask more questions. We press harder. We say things like, "You can tell me," or "I am here for you." But 9 times out of 10, this backfires completely. They shut down even harder. The truth is, the way most of us are taught to communicate is fundamentally broken. It's based on logic, not human psychology. Today, we're going to unbox the science of elicitation, the exact framework used by FBI behavioral analysts and hostage negotiators to get complete strangers to spill their deepest secrets in under 60 seconds. And the craziest part? It does not involve asking a single question. Let's look at how this usually plays out. "I just want to help," Boxley thinks, tapping his pen on his desk. "Why won't they just talk to me? Maybe I need to be more empathetic." So the next time he sees his coworker looking stressed, he tries the standard approach. "Are you stressed about the project?" he asks. "No," they say. "Okay, let's try an open-ended question," Boxley thinks. "How are you feeling about the deadline?" "Fine." Wow, this is like pulling teeth. Boxley starts sweating, pushing his glasses up his non-existent nose. Is it the boss? Is it the workload? Did I do something wrong? With every question, he watches his coworker physically shrink back, crossing their arms and looking toward the door. Boxley's inner monologue is screaming, "I am giving you a safe space. Why are you running away?" The harder Boxley tries to unlock the conversation, the more combinations he types into the keypad, the faster the system shuts him out. He thought he was throwing them a lifeline, but to his coworker, he accidentally turned a casual break-room chat into a high-stakes police interrogation. By trying to pull the information out, he inadvertently triggered a biological defense mechanism that locked the vault shut completely. To understand why Boxley failed, we have to peel back the layers of human behavior. On the surface layer, we are dealing with a concept called psychological reactance. This is a well-documented cognitive bias where people have a strong negative reaction to rules, regulations, or anything that threatens their behavioral freedom. When you ask someone a direct question, especially an emotional one, you are unconsciously placing a demand on them. You are demanding information. Their brain registers this demand as a threat to their autonomy, so they instinctively resist, giving you the classic, "I am fine." But if we go a layer deeper to the root cause, we find cognitive load theory. Processing emotions is exhausting. Translating complex, messy feelings into coherent sentences takes a massive amount of mental energy. When you ask what is wrong, you are forcing their brain to do all the heavy lifting. You are handing them a blank canvas and telling them to paint a masterpiece while they are actively stressed out. But here is the hidden mechanism, the secret layer that master communicators use. It is a phenomenon called Cunningham's law, combined with the human urge to correct. Human beings have a deep-seated, evolutionary need to correct false information. It is physically uncomfortable for us to hear a statement we know is wrong and let it slide. We crave accuracy. If you ask a question, the brain's defense mechanism can easily deflect it. But if you make a declarative statement, especially an incorrect one, the brain's urge to correct bypasses the defense mechanism entirely. The need to fix the error overrides the desire to hide the emotion. This completely shatters the golden rule of modern pop psychology. If you open any self-help book on communication, what is the first thing they tell you? Ask open-ended questions. They say, do not ask yes or no questions, ask how and why. So Boxley tries this. He reads the articles. He sits down with his frustrated roommate and says, "How does it make you feel when the dishes are not done?" His roommate just glares at him, eye-twitching, and says, "Bad, Boxley. It makes me feel bad." The open-ended question did not create vulnerability. It just created annoyance. Why? Because open-ended questions still require the other person to do all the work. It is lazy empathy. And hey, if you have ever found yourself guilty of doing exactly this, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, because we are about to fix this habit right now. The truth is, when someone is closed off, asking a question is the worst thing you can do. You do not need a question mark. You need a period. Let's look at this in the real world. Imagine you are on a first date. The conversation is stalling. The stuck-in-a-pattern person panics and starts rapid-firing questions to fill the silence. Where did you grow up? Do you like your job? What are your hobbies? The date feels like a job interview. Both people leave feeling exhausted and disconnected. Now contrast this with a master conversationalist or an FBI behavioral analyst trying to get a suspect to talk. They never interrogate. Instead, they use a technique called elicitation. Let's say the FBI agent wants to know what a person does for a living. They won't ask, "What is your job?" Instead, they will observe a small detail, maybe the person's calloused hands or tired posture, and make a presumptive statement. "You look like someone who spends all day working outdoors." If it is true, the person feels seen and says, "Yeah, I actually do landscaping." But if it is wrong, Cunningham's law kicks in. The person will immediately correct the agent. "No way, I am an accountant. I just hate wearing gloves when I garden." Boom. Information extracted, no questions asked, and the target feels completely comfortable because they chose to correct the record. The conversationalist just threw out a guess, and the other person's brain could not resist fixing it. So, how do we apply this FBI technique to our everyday lives? How do you get your partner, your boss, or your best friend to open up without making them defensive? Here is the exact 3-step framework you can use today. Step 1. The presumptive label. Instead of asking what is wrong, you make an observational statement about their state using the phrase, "it seems like." For example, instead of asking, "Are you mad at me?" you say, "It seems like you have a lot on your mind right now." This is non-threatening. You are not demanding an answer. You are just stating an observation. If you are wrong, they will happily correct you. Try this tonight. At dinner, replace every "what's wrong" with "it seems like" just once, and watch their shoulders drop. Step 2. The intentional misdirection. This is the superpower. If they are hiding something, make a guess that is slightly exaggerated or intentionally wrong to trigger their need to correct. Let's go back to the coffee shop. Instead of "what is wrong," Boxley says, "You seem like you are plotting to quit your job and move to a cabin in the woods." It is ridiculous enough to lower their guard. They will likely chuckle and say, "No, it's not that bad. It's just," and then they will spill the exact truth they were hiding. Step 3. The late-night pause. Once you drop the label or the misdirection, you must do the hardest thing in the world. Absolutely nothing. Shut your mouth. Count to 4 in your head. Do not nod. Do not say "uh-huh." Just maintain soft eye contact and let the silence hang. Your brain will scream at you to talk, but you must resist. This silence acts as a vacuum, and human nature abhors a vacuum. They will rush to fill it with the exact information you wanted from the start. Your homework this week. In your next 3 important conversations, resist filling silence for 4 full seconds. Just 4. That's it. Back at the coffee shop, Boxley leans back and says, "It seems like you feel like you are carrying the weight of the world right now." His friend pauses, lets out a breath, and says, "Yeah, actually it is." The vault is open. Human connection doesn't come from asking perfect questions. It comes from creating space where the other person wants to give you the answers. Want to know how to handle the hard conversation that comes next? Click the video on screen where we unbox how to win any argument without raising your voice. See you next time.